Hello, everyone. This is Pamela Igbo. I am your host of Real Talk with Pam show. Today, we're going to be talking about a very important topic, the menopause. And I have three incredible women with me. Today on the show, I have Duni Shonde, I have Dr. Simis Alabi, and I have Abiola Adonye. Menopause is a topic that affects so many women, and the average age is 51. So we're just going to dive right into it right now. So, women, welcome. I'm really
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
I'm really excited about this. This is a hot topic.
Really hot.
So, Duni, tell me, I've known you for a very long time, and we always talk about this. When did you first realize that you were menopausal, and what were the symptoms that you experienced?
Yeah, so for me, like I would wake up in the night and I feel, sweat on my pajamas, and I'm thinking, what is this? And then I used to be really, really tired, and then I think I had an idea that, symptoms of menopause are sweat, hot flushes, they call them. So I Googled it and I researched, and then I realized that maybe I'm at that point of menopause, and then, I used to get very, very tired, but mostly it was the hot flushes, and they just come like that. Right. But because I was in a cold climate, it wasn't so bad, but it's just the way it comes. It wakes you up literally in the night. So those were my first, symptoms of menopause.
Right. How about you, Viola?
Yeah, I think mine was about, probably say 6 years ago now, 2018. Just, it's as if someone is stalking you from inside,
Right.
really hot. And then next minute you're cold, and then you're hot, and then next minute you're cold. So it's been about 6 years. But I think I don't get the hot flushes as I used to then.
Okay.
I think it's kind of tapered off now. So, but yeah, it was
Okay.
a flush. Yeah.
Okay. So for me, I'm in perimenopause. You guys, both of you are in menopause?
Yeah, I'm in menopause.
So I'm in perimenopause, and I think when I was 49 was the very first symptom I had of hot flush. I started getting hot flushes, and I thought, okay, it's menopause because I'm 49, because the average age is 51, right? But I'm sure Dr. Simi, you'll tell us later, but what I didn't realize was that there were other symptoms that menopause had, not just hot flushes, because the symptom that everyone talks about is you think you're going to get night sweats, you think you're going to get hot flushes, but there are other symptoms, like Duni talked about fatigue. What are the other symptoms you've had apart from the hot flushes that everyone knows about?
Funny enough, I think it was only recently. My kids would say, Mom, we told you. I'm like, no, you didn't tell me.
So forgetfulness.
Oh, yeah. And then maybe like 2-3 months after, I'm like, oh my God, they actually told me. So now when I have conversations with people, I now make, if they're the ones that are very important and I think I need to remember, I'm now telling myself, you must remember this conversation. Then the others, I'm like, okay, if I forget it, then it's okay, But some conversations you don't forget. So I now make a mental note to say, you must remember you had this conversation. Because sometimes I'm like, no, you didn't tell me. But later I want to get something in the store. I leave the kitchen. Then I get to the store, I'm like, oh, okay. Then I go back to the kitchen. Then when I see what prompted me to want to go to the store, then I remember, okay, I was actually going to get this, and then I go back and get it. Yeah. So brain fog, I would say, just become forgetful.
That's the thing.
So for me, I would say I get anxious, and I think, I won't call it panic attacks, but when I see certain numbers, like when my mom calls me, I just kind of, it's like a panic, it's not a panic attack, but I just feel really anxious, and I think that was, part of menopause too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, Dr. Simi, I always say that menopause is the gift that keeps on giving, as far as I'm concerned, because there's so many symptoms. I mean, I have 34 symptoms here of menopause that I'm going to read out to you, and I'd like you to raise your hand if you've ever experienced it. So, the first one is night sweats. We've all had it.
Yeah.
Hot flushes.
Yeah.
Mood swings.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes.
And I can become a bit irritable. I get really irritable.
I know. Irregular menstrual cycle.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Decreased libido.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't know that.
Breast soreness.
No.
Okay. Vaginal dryness.
Yeah,
Yes.
a little bit.
Definitely for me. Tingling hands and feet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Headaches.
No.
I get headaches.
I get headaches, but I'm not sure it's related to
Yeah.
menopause.
Changes in sense of taste. Changes in
No, I'm not
sense of
aware of that.
burning sensation in the mouth. I've had that. Bloating,
Oh, definitely.
definitely
Yeah.
bloating. Fatigue,
Yeah, fatigue.
joint pain.
Mine moves.
Yes.
So maybe it's my hips today, tomorrow it's my. Anyway,
It's
just
okay.
moves.
It's like
just
it
goes around the
moves.
body, yes.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
that
yeah.
actually.
Well, I've said digestive changes. Oh yes, sensations of electric shock. I've had that.
I've had that.
Is it when you jerk a little bit? Is it
No,
okay?
it's literally like
It's like a spark.
It's like a thing. It's almost like a, you know that the what when you hear the sound of electricity.
Okay.
I've had that in my body.
Okay.
Right. What else is here? Itchiness. I've had that.
Okay.
Sleep issues, insomnia. I was up till
Yeah.
2 days ago. I just couldn't.
I
I
get
was
it
up
off and
to
on.
about 4 today.
No, but you don't sleep, so
So
it could be.
yeah.
Because she's always up early in the morning.
Yeah.
Memory problems, like you were
Oh, yes,
saying.
yeah.
Brittle nails.
No, my nails are.
Good.
They're still okay.
Okay. Thinning hair. Sudden urge to urinate.
Me. I go to the toilet quite a bit.
Yeah, well, mine might be from childbirth, so I don't know.
Okay.
Weight gain, definitely. I would say, Dr. Simi, that's the most frustrating thing, and you can speak into that when I'm done. Allergies, okay. Occasional dizziness. I've definitely had
Yeah,
vertigo.
I've had it. I've had,
Okay.
and then what's the one that in the air? You mentioned it.
Tinnitus.
Tinnitus. Yeah, I've had
Ringing
that.
in the
I've had
ears.
that.
Body odor.
Not me. No.
I have had body odor. One day I was like, I'm like, who's smelling? And I was like, ooh, it's me. Panic disorder.
Yeah.
So you were saying
had
anxiety and osteoporosis. So doctor, these are a wide range of symptoms. Like I never knew that menopause had up to 34 symptoms, okay?
Yeah, probably
So
more.
could you just speak into that a little bit? Because I still think that a lot of women think menopause is hot flushes, night sweats, and then you are going to get over that period and that's it.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
So why is it that there is not enough information out there?
Yeah, I mean, thank you for having me. This topic is so important. And I'll preface everything by saying that, we were taught a little bit about having your periods, about menarche, and young women are taught about that. But we're not taught about menopause. And I wonder why. And I think it should be in the curriculum, that women are prepared. Because you might think you're 25 today, but 45 creeps up really quickly.
Right.
And it's always good to be prepared for things like this. It's a change, just like the menarche was a change. Menopause is a change. But there is some sort of stigmatization around aging. But everybody's aging, like men and women are aging. And it's a stigmatization like women should never age. You should remain frozen in time, looking perfect till the day you die. And that's disrespectful, in my view. We should embrace that aging process. I think the alienation of the education for women is around that stigma that we have to act like we're all still very good and there's no issue. And that I blame the whole community for that. And I blame the doctors, I blame the patient, I blame all of us. And I love this because you are now demystifying it. It's not a big deal.
Right.
Your life still carries on and there are things you can do to help you sail through it without much impact on your life and your family, what I would say.
And so what support, if any, did you get when you were going through this?
Well, initially, when it started in 2018, 6 years ago now, I said to my husband, and I said, hot flush. She goes, oh, well, obviously that's menopause. I'm like, no, that's not it. He goes, oh, obviously that's it. So what I did later, when I was in tissue, I just went to the doctor. We did a test. And he says, oh, you have like 20% estrogen left.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, you're really there. But once I knew that was, and so I went that day and I had a list of all my symptoms. And I was reading, the doctor was like, yep. And she said, well, that's what it is. But what you can do, if you can go and sleep over it and think about it. Do you want to take medication? Do you want to use the patch? Do you want to use the cream? But at least once I knew what it was, I knew I wasn't going mad or something like that. I could put a name to it and I could say, okay, all these symptoms, because like everyone thinks it's just hot flush.
Right.
I could say, okay, this one, that one, all these things are associated with them. Knowing it makes you are more at peace with yourself, because you're thinking, okay, this time will pass. It's now up to me to decide whether I want to use the medication or not. But at least you know what it is. Yeah, so that was for me.
Yeah. How about you, Judy?
So for me, obviously, I went to see the doctor. Mine was about 13 years ago, and then they told me that I was premenopausal at the time. And they're like, if you need anything from us, let us know. They did offer me the HRT, but I said, no, I think I'm good. But then again, speaking to other ladies and just saying, oh, this is what I'm going through, that helped, because it's not only me that's going through this. Because sometimes you're thinking, why all these different things are happening to my body? But I think talking to other ladies about it also helped. And then obviously Google, there's so many things you can get information online, just giving you the, information that you need to manage, I would say, the menopause.
Yeah.
I think the most frustrating thing for me, like you were saying, you were at peace. I'm not at peace because I feel like I have to have a different range of sizes in my wardrobe because of the weight gain. I think for me, that's the most disheartening thing for me. I know it's different for different women, the weight gain, and I feel like I have to work extra hard and do an exercise just to be at the level I am. And then I'll tell you a funny story, and this is when I was living in England. I put on 2 different shoes, and this is where the brain fog comes in. One was gray, and the other one was black painted shoe. And I literally had walked the length and breadth of the high street until my daughter said to me, Mom, your shoes are different color. And I was like, oh my God. But just the forgetfulness, or you're clumsy, And so these are the things that, women go through. But like you said, having women who you can talk to about it. But I still feel in the Nigerian context, people are not that open.
No.
People are not open. There's a stigmatization, as you said. What are the things that we can do? First of all, can you talk about the natural remedies that we can use? And also the alternative medical interventions, I think, for people to be able to make an informed decision. And then what health professionals in Nigeria can do to make it more normal for women to come and say, I'm going through this.
No, thank you for that. I think it's a shock to me because I've practiced for 22 years in the UK, and over the last 10 years, menopause has been demystified. So everybody talks about it. If you're a doctor and you're not sure, you send the patient to a doctor in your practice who has an interest in women's health. So everybody talks about it. So now working in Nigeria and seeing that people don't even have an idea, some doctors don't even talk about it at all. I think we health professionals need to actually get comfortable with the fact that we have that knowledge gap, and we need to either upskill or send to somebody who is comfortable dealing with it, rather than saying to the woman, well, you're menopausal now, bye, give them that range of options. There's so many things you can do. And I think it's education first, as you said, so understanding that, okay, what is perimenopause?
Right.
Okay, so what's going on with me now? My periods are irregular, they come now and again, maybe they're even very, very heavy all of a sudden, they were not heavy before. Maybe now it's every 2 weeks and it wasn't, all of those and then being able to recognize when there's a red flag.
Right.
Because in the middle of all of this, you might think, oh, it's just menopause, but it could be endometrial cancer.
Wow.
Right? Because you're now bleeding maybe after intercourse. So just understanding that whatever is going on with you, speak to somebody. Don't think it's perimenopause, it could be something more sinister. And I've had those instances in Nigeria.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, where they're like, oh, I'm just bleeding. No, actually, your endometrium is thick and it shouldn't be that way. So understanding the education side of it. And then what can you do? I always say, always go for the lifestyle changes first. Menopausal hormonal therapy, or HRT, is the last resort for many women. Although personally, and I don't want to bring that into this discussion, but personally, I think it should be a bit higher than the last resort, in my view, because it helps with so many other things. But lifestyle changes, we talked about it before we started, like your diet, what are you eating, cutting down, cutting down your carbs, going really into like intermittent fasting, which has a bad name, but if you do it well, it's quite good. Lots of water. Exercise has to be daily, and it may not be the same exercise you were doing when you were 30, because people want to keep on hitting the gym and going to the treadmill, but that may not be right for you anymore because your joints maybe cannot take it like before. You may have to do things like stretching or yoga or Pilates, or cycling, or walking even, because walking will also make your mood better. I mean, we could talk for hours on this, right? And then we could then go into natural remedies, which some of them have some evidence, some of them don't. We have the evening primrose oil, black
I heard
cohosh,
about that, yeah.
St. John's wort, ashwagandha. There's so many things out there. But how many are you going to take?
What about yam?
Yeah. So many things you can take. But the problem is, you hear, that one is good, you buy it. This one is good, and then
They end up having all these different things.
They might interact. They might interact if you're on medication for something else. They might interact with those medications.
Yeah.
So you really, even if you take anything, you have to let your doctor know, because you don't want to cause problems. Like St. John's wort, for instance, which can help with your mood a little bit, will interact with so many other medication. So it's that just knowing what you're taking and asking somebody if you're not sure. So we can do all of that. But lifestyle, don't smoke. Alcohol is terrible. Alcohol.
It's terrible?
Alcohol and smoking will increase your chances of breast cancer way more than HRT would.
Oh, wow.
Is
Yes.
HRT available in Nigeria?
For my patients, so far, they've only got it from England, but I'm sure we can get it in Nigeria. And I'm
They don't have it here?
We would have it.
I'm sure
we
some
would
of these
have it.
pharmacies
You
will-
just
the-
have
the
to
big ones.
ask the right people
All
for
right.
it and ask for the right preparation.
Some of them are just crazy.
So I was saying, what was I saying about the natural remedies? I can't remember where I was anymore. But
Drinking,
drinking alcohol.
water
Yes,
and-
yes. And I want to talk about that in particular because HRT has a bad rap. They say, oh no, it causes breast cancer, but
Right.
actually obesity, smoking and alcohol will raise your chances of that way more than it, And if you have the right combination of HRT, there's almost no risk, up to 5 years.
Okay.
So as you said, a cream, an estrogen cream or a spray, right? And then you have the micronized progesterone, which is the one that is as close to your body's progesterone as possible. So biosimilar to the one you took. But the studies that they had 20 years ago or whatever that was
Not
saying,
relevant now.
no, they're not relevant now because they were talking about progesterone that was from horse urine.
Right.
They're looking at things that were very unnatural. They were not similar to what we're taking at all, and that was raising the breast cancer risk. So the Million Women study, the Women's Health Institute study, those studies have been used to scare everyone.
Right.
Meanwhile, they haven't looked at the right combination. So I would normally recommend for my patients an estrogen gel or a spray.
Right.
Just spray, just 1 or 2, and then I'll say take the micronized progesterone just every day. Well, it depends on how the woman is presenting as well.
Well, but sorry to cut you
No,
off.
sorry.
So in the Nigerian context, though, we have a lot of people who will say, "I can't afford HRT."
Yes,
So, just speaking to that and knowing what, like you said, what are the more natural remedies a woman in that situation can go to their local market and buy something that will help them, food wise.
I mean, I would say maximize your lifestyle, your diet, and your exercise. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And I find when I speak to my patients, they haven't done that. They will have said to me, "Oh, I'm doing my best." And okay, how many times have you been? Do you work out? Well, I have a personal trainer twice a week, and she comes for an hour, and I'm like, okay, that's really good, but we need to do a bit more. So can we add on some yoga? Can we add on some? So you have to maximize and make it a priority. First thing in the morning is always best to do your exercises. Lots of water and making sure that your food is minimal. You will be full. You won't be hungry.
I don't know about
You have to find the right time to eat because the food we eat around here is a lot of
Yeah,
it.
sure.
Really
It is.
dense.
It is.
I mean, I
Right.
love ginger personally. I don't know whether it helps with menopause. I think ginger helps with everything as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
Making sure it's blended, ready in the fridge for you in the morning. Having that with lemon and honey is very refreshing. It makes you feel, it wakes you up in a way. I think things like black cohosh are not freely available here.
Right.
And I kind of also question the way things are packaged as well. So do your research because I'm quite a traditional doctor.
Right.
I always say Vitamin D, great. Take vitamin D, is very important because then your bones can be strong and can be dense. Because menopause will cause your bones to become thinner.
Doesn't the natural sun that we have here help with that?
Unfortunately, funny enough, I have more vitamin D deficiency here than in England.
Yes.
Wow.
And
Because we
vitamin
don't go in
D
the sun.
deficiency in England is bad in black people. But it's
Right.
worse here. I had a patient last week. His vitamin D level was 8.
Wow.
8 is
And why
almost
is
nothing.
that? Why is that?
I think we don't get out into the early morning.
Oh, where it's
sun.
the where
So
it's
that
the
very
highest.
early.
Right.
It's not. Yeah, it's where it's the right one because
Right.
when it gets a bit later, it just damages your skin. You don't want to get
Sure.
skin cancer and all of
Right.
that. So we don't get out into the sun. We don't really go running or walking like people do elsewhere. You know, and then we are melanated as well, so we don't convert it to the right vitamin D as much as somebody else who is lighter skinned or Caucasian will do. So I always say take a vitamin D supplement. And full disclosure, I do have a line of vitamin D, so conflict of interest right there. But that's not the reason why I'm saying vitamin D is important. It is super important.
For women, especially because of osteoporosis.
It is so important, and for
Sure.
men, for everyone.
And for everyone.
You know, some of the things that you'd mentioned, you know, you're like, you know, the shoulder pains and all of that. You might take a vitamin D and you might feel better. Even weight gain, you know, maximize your vitamin D. If you haven't checked it, check your levels. And I always say it should be at least 60. I think 60 for me is a good point to be, and your children as well, not just you. So as an aside. So vitamin B is also great for that brain fog that we're talking about. So vitamin B will be wonderful for that. You know, vitamin C is great for your skin, as you all know, as you know as well. So those are natural things you can do. Don't smoke, please. I think smoking is so ancient nowadays. Don't smoke because it will make the menopausal symptoms much worse. And alcohol can also make you flush even more. You can drink a bit in moderation, but the newest research is that it's not great for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're
Dr.
welcome.
So just rounding up, ladies. So I wanted to ask, what if you were to give advice to women out there? What's the one piece of advice that has helped you through this process, that as a takeaway?
You mean what I do
Yes. What
to
you
manage
do,
my
yes.
menopause? Okay, so for me, I do the early morning walking. Like the doctor said, I have the mix of ginger, turmeric, lime, and those things. I'm hoping it's going to work for me. And I'm just trying to manage my lifestyle. It's lifestyle change. I have to.
Yes.
I have to
Absolutely.
because,
And you carry your fan everywhere with you.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have to carry my fan.
And you,
Yeah, I think for me, I just started doing the shot. I do cucumber, ginger, lemon, and there's one other ingredient now. So I just do that, and I do it lasts for 4 days, and then I do pineapple,
Oh,
with
nice.
the pineapple peel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I think it's at least it gives you in the morning when you do, because you take that before you eat. I think at least that's helped a bit. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll do more natural stuff. This is not so bad because I can't stand cucumber on a normal day. But I've been able to blend it now and then just take it. So I think a lot more natural stuff.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's, yeah.
I think for me, what's helped is walking every day. I try to do exercise 5 days a week. I walk for an hour every morning. That just helps me because I wake up very stiff, and just doing that just helps a lot. And talking to friends helps.
It does help.
And
does.
to just know you're not going through it alone. You're not going crazy. And you have a laugh about this.
Absolutely.
And also, I would say to women out there, just to lean into this period of your life. It's just for a phase. It will go eventually. And enjoy it. So thank you very much, ladies. It's been a fantastic talk. I don't
for
think
having
we
us.
can ever exhaust talking about menopause. So we might have a part 2. But thank you for having.
Thank you so
Thank you for
much.
having
Yeah.
given us the time here today. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
I hope you have enjoyed today's talk about menopause, because I have. It is a topic that can never be exhausted. The most important thing is to seek the support that you need and also get yourself regularly checked. This is Real Talk with Pam, where authenticity meets conversation. I'm Pamela Abo. See you next time.